You close your laptop after wasting another night, knowing tomorrow will be different. But it won't. The painful part is that you know why. You keep choosing comfort and delay, then wonder why your life feels wrong. Your goals aren't the problem. Your daily choices quietly vote against them. After enough votes, your behavior becomes your identity. So why keep building a life you don't respect? And you keep calling it temporary. Because you're often choosing relief, not your future. You avoid the conversation because silence feels easier. You skip the work because distraction feels better. You chase approval because uncertainty hurts. Each choice looks small, but Stoicism asks a darker question. What if every small choice is training you to become someone you eventually cannot respect? And what happens when that training becomes your normal? The answer will change how you judge yourself. Epictetus begins with a distinction that changes the problem. Some things are up to us, and some are not. Reputation isn't fully yours. Other people's opinions aren't yours. Outcomes aren't fully yours. But your judgment, choices, and actions are. Think about your alarm. You plan to train. It rings. You're tired, so you negotiate. 10 minutes becomes an hour. Nothing dramatic happened. Yet you taught yourself that discomfort gets a vote. Repeat that enough, and the problem stops being the missed workout. It becomes mistrust in your own word. This is why self-respect cannot be built through affirmations alone. You need evidence. Every difficult promise you keep creates it. Every promise you betray for comfort weakens it. But there's a deeper problem. Some promises you're trying to keep may not even be yours. And that is where the problem gets dangerous. That distinction matters. You may be exhausting yourself to build a life that looks impressive from the outside and feels wrong inside. Maybe you want the promotion because everyone respects the title. Maybe you chase money because you fear being ordinary. Maybe you stay because leaving would look like failure. You can become disciplined at pursuing someone else's definition of success. Modern psychology finds that goals are more sustainable when genuinely endorsed rather than driven mainly by pressure or approval. That isn't Stoic doctrine, but it strengthens the question. Would you still want this if nobody could see it? They warned against making externals the measure of your good. Money can help. Reputation can help. Success can help. But none can tell you whether you lived well. So the real test isn't whether your life looks respectable. It's whether your choices are worthy of your own judgment. Here is where the idea turns. You might think self-respect means refusing to tolerate disrespect from others. Stoicism points somewhere harder. You can control your conduct even when someone behaves badly. Someone insults you at work. Your impulse is to prove yourself. You type the message. You rehearse the argument, but pause. Deliberately. If another person's behavior instantly dictates your behavior, they have gained more control than you realize. Epictetus returns to responding to impressions rather than being dragged around by them. The goal isn't to become emotionless, it's to create space for judgment. Ask, what response can I respect tomorrow? Building a life worth respecting isn't mainly about fixing every circumstance or becoming admired. It's refusing to let every impulse, fear, desire, or opinion become your master. Because the hardest person to govern is usually the one you meet when nobody is watching. Make the principle practical. When comfort conflicts with what you know is right, don't ask whether you feel ready. Ask which action deserves your obedience. You want to quit the workout. Notice the urge, then train if it serves your goal. You want to send the angry message. Wait. Let the emotion exist without handing it the wheel. You want to buy something because you're stressed. Pause. Separate desire from decision. You want to avoid a difficult conversation. Ask whether courage requires speaking. This isn't worshiping pain. Stoicism isn't about suffering for its own sake. It's deliberate action guided by judgment instead of impulse. When you fail, don't turn one decision into an identity. Examine it, correct it, return to the standard. Character is built through ordinary moments where you decide what controls you. Eventually, discipline becomes proof that your life belongs to you. So why do you keep choosing a life you don't respect? Because every day something competes for control, comfort, fear, approval, status, distraction, or desire. When you surrender repeatedly, your life takes their shape. You cannot control who approves of you. You cannot control every outcome. You cannot guarantee success, loyalty, money, health, or recognition. But you can ask, what is mine to choose here? A life worth respecting isn't perfect. It's a life where your actions increasingly match your principles. Tonight, look at one part of your life you complain about. Find the choice that maintains it. You don't build a life worth respecting by waiting to become better. You become better by making the next choice worthy of the person you want your life to prove you are.